Hello there, and welcome to my review of the first 10 episodes of The Bad Batch. The Bad Batch is a new animated show that tells us more about the group of enhanced clones first introduced in the Clone Wars.
I like to blow things up, because I like to blow things up! Got it?
The members of The Bad Batch are portrayed by the amazing voice cast of D. Bradley Baker. Wait, isn't that just one person? So, I think The Bad Batch had a solid opening. I like the time frame of the show, and I like the idea of seeing clones work around Order 66, especially since The Bad Batch aren't normal clones, so it's very interesting to see what they, being not normal, would do around Order 66. Maybe their inhibitor chips are different. I find that very interesting. I like the new characters, my favorites being Omega and Sid, but I do think that so far the show preferred bringing back old characters rather than introducing new characters. But that's just me. And with the opening episode itself, I like it. I don't think I have any problems with it. The opening scene was very solid, and the rest of the episode was also very good. It went to some emotional territories that I wasn't expecting from the first episode of the show. I don't think the second episode was as good as the first. It wasn't a major plot progressing episode. The plot in the second episode was about the character Omega having to leave the Bad Batch to go with these other people from the Clone Wars, but Omega doesn't end up doing that. So the episode started and ended with the character in the same place, while the whole episode was about her trying to get and go to another place. But I don't think it was a filler episode, because this sort of storyline I think is good for expanding characters. I just don't think it's great at expanding the main plot. The third episode was more dark than I expected. Considering the Bad Batch, the plot was just about a crash. Nothing major to the plot, but considering the mind-twisted Bad Batch member Crosshair, yeah, I think it progressed the plot. In my opinion, the fourth episode really got the plot moving, even though it was mostly set up for later. The plot of the episode was for Fennec from The Mandalorian to capture Omega, but that didn't end up happening. It just set up the idea of why do people want to capture Omega. But I still like the episode because it's a TV show and not every episode can introduce a plot line and then resolve it. The fifth episode was okay in my opinion. It was kind of like The Mandalorian where it's like, for me to help you, you need to do this. And the episode was just the characters doing the thing so they can get the help. So I don't think it was a groundbreaking episode, but it was reasonably exciting. The sixth episode was also a Mandalorian type episode. So it wasn't groundbreaking, but it was just fine. It also had some twists that, let's just say, I didn't see coming. The seventh episode was pretty solid, in my opinion. It set up many interesting ideas surrounding the Bad Batch as a whole, and it kind of felt like a culmination of the character relationships that were set up so far. I really liked the eighth episode. I think it was my favorite episode of the show so far. It had incredible action, and explored the character dynamic of the Bad Batch, all while continuing the main Omega plotline. And they did it all pretty well. I think the ninth episode was pretty good. It expanded the main Omega plotline, and had some solid action. I'm just surprised that the whole Omega capture thing was just a one-episode thing. I thought that would have more lasting impacts. Maybe it still will. The show isn't over. The 10th and most recent episode was also a Mandalorian bounty hunter type episode. Basically, they had to rescue a senator as a bounty hunter job. So it didn't progress the main plot, but it set up some interesting things that could come into effect later. Like there was one scene where Omega drew a lot of attention to herself. Maybe that alerted some people who were chasing her. And overall, I like the show, and I'm curious to see where it goes. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you, always.